Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So today we have the final round of checks going out to certain beneficiaries of Social Security. We're going to be going over who is going to be receiving those payments, plus the payment schedule for May as well, which we also covered in yesterday's video. Plus, the Senate also passed more aid for Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan, and more, so we will be covering that as well. But before we go ahead and dive into the main content of today's video, if you wouldn't mind helping me out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Plus, if you would like to receive up to $10,000 in free stocks or $10,000 in free cash, in a pinned comment below, I will be leaving a link to Moomoo. All you have to do is once you click on that link is just sign up for a free account and then deposit at least $100. At that point, Moomoo will be sending you at least 5 free stocks worth all the way up to $10,000. And if you'd really just have the cash, all you have to do is once you receive the stocks is just sell them for what they're worth and then transfer the cash value right back to your bank account. Okay, so diving right into our lead story of today's video, and of course over the weekend the House did pass that bill that did send more aid to Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan, and others. And we finally also had the Senate yesterday pass that same bill through, and also potentially force the sale of TikTok, which we will be covering in just a moment. So according to The Hill, the Senate on Tuesday passed a $95 billion emergency foreign aid package, ending months of bitter fighting over $61 billion for the war in Ukraine that had deeply divided the Republican Party. The measure passed by a vote of 79 to 18 and now goes to President Biden's desk for his signature. The package also included $15 billion in military aid for Israel and $9 billion in humanitarian aid for Gaza and other war-torn areas, which became another flashpoint among conservative Republicans who argued it didn't have adequate safeguards to keep it from going to Hamas. And yes, that is very interesting. Not sure exactly how that $9 billion is going to be used in Gaza and how exactly they're going to keep that from just going to Hamas, which if it did just go to Hamas, obviously they're going to use that probably more than likely to buy more guns and things for themselves rather than help the civilians living in that area. It also provided $8 billion in security assistance to deter Chinese aggression in the Indo-Pacific, and it included language to force the Chinese owner of TikTok to divest from the popular app, which is used by more than 140 million Americans, or otherwise face a ban within the United States. But the centerpiece of the package is $47.7 billion that would flow through the Defense Department to provide training, equipment, weapons, logistics support, and supplies to help Ukraine's military, as well as $13.4 billion to replenish U.S. equipment sent to Ukraine and $20.5 billion for U.S. Armed Forces support in Europe. It also includes $9.5 billion in economic aid to Ukraine structured as a forgivable loan, an idea that former President Trump gave life to when the Senate passed a previous version of the $95 billion assistance package in February. So not sure whether or not the $9.5 billion is actually going to be given back by the Ukraine government, or if eventually we're probably just going to forgive that money. My guess is we're probably just going to end up forgiving that money. Schumer noted that he left a message for Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky Tuesday evening, letting him know, okay, we got it done, now win the fight. And my question here, maybe you guys can help me out, but what exactly does he mean by now go out and win the fight? Not sure exactly how Schumer or others expect this to end. Do they expect Putin to actually surrender and give up and quit the war? Do they expect Ukraine to actually go in and take over old territory, take over parts of Russia? Do they expect Ukraine to go over and take all of Russia? We definitely need some type of off-ramp because it doesn't seem like Putin is going to be done fighting anytime soon. I don't see any signs of that. I don't see any signs of Zelensky ready to give up the fight either. So are we just going to continue fighting for the next 10 years? And if so, how much more aid are we going to throw into this before we eventually just, throw up our hands and give up, just like we did in Afghanistan, just like we did in other countries where for years we end up funding an endless war. And then at the end of the day, we just give up and we threw all this money into something for no reason at all. So that's my question there. Do we have an off-ramp? We need to set up some sort of off-ramp. We need to have Zelensky and Putin come together and set up some type of end to this war, because it just does not make more sense. Just does not make any sense at all to continue having this war go on for more years, have more people die, and ultimately for no reason at all. Now, of course, because this bill passed in the House over the weekend, Marjorie Taylor Greene and a couple other Republicans are once again threatening to ouster one of their own House speakers in Mike Johnson. She's saying now that Johnson needs to do the right thing and resign or be ousted. So according to Axios, she said that he needs to do the right thing to resign and allow us to move forward in a controlled process. If he doesn't do so, he will be vacated, Greene said in an interview on Fox News Sunday Morning Futures. When questioned if that meant she would file the motion to vacate, Greene said it was coming regardless of what Mike Johnson decides to do. Now, they do mention here that while Greene wants to force Johnson's hand and resign, some Democrats have actually backed the speaker and indicated that he should keep his job. So once again, if they do hold a vote on whether or not to remove Johnson as the current House Speaker, of course, we're going to have many Republicans vote to keep him because they like Johnson and they don't believe that we should just keep removing House Speakers. But we're also going to have some Democrats side with Johnson as well, because he worked with Democrats to help pass this bill for more aid for Ukraine and other countries. And really all Johnson needs is a few Democrats to join him in voting to keep him in order for this vote to fail. And I think Marjorie Taylor Greene sort of knows this, and that's exactly why she's not bringing this to the floor for a vote, because it would be a little bit of an embarrassment for her to try to remove Johnson and then her vote actually end up failing. But leave your thoughts and comments below about that bill. Do you believe that we should also be going out and trying to fund other things, trying to help out Americans in need? Of course, we have the border here that's, not completely shut down. We have American veterans on the street. We have Americans homeless. We have Americans going hungry, yet we're funding all these other things. And you can make the case that we should be funding all these things while at the same time funding these things here at home as well. Now, in some other news, of course, today we're going to have the final round of checks going out to certain beneficiaries of Social Security. We're going to be going over who is going to be receiving these payments. So according to AS, $1,900 Social Security payment. Are you one of the April 24th beneficiaries? So following the estimates and payment schedule, beneficiaries born between the 21st and 31st of this month will be the ones receiving an average check of $1,900 this coming Wednesday, April 24th. With this, the SSA is preparing the adjustment final details for the May checks, which will be distributed as follows. So these are going to be the May payment dates, of course, after everyone else receives the final checks today on April 24th. So on Wednesday, May 1st, those payments are going to be going out to beneficiaries of SSI. Then on Friday, May 3rd, those payments are going to be going to those beneficiaries who receive their payments before May of 1997, or if you receive both Social Security and SSI, your payments are going to be delivered on May 3rd. And then on May 8th, Wednesday, May 8th, those payments are going to be going to those beneficiaries born between the 1st and 10th of any given month. And then the following Wednesday on May 15th, those payments are going to be going to beneficiaries born between the 11th and 20th of any given month. And then on May 22nd, those payments are going to be going to beneficiaries born between the 21st and the 31st of any given month. And then finally, on the last day of May, Friday, May 31st, those payments are going to be going to SSI beneficiaries once again. The second payment in May for SSI beneficiaries, that's because June 1st is going to be falling on a Saturday And anytime the first of a month falls on a Saturday, a Sunday, or a holiday, the day in which SSI beneficiaries normally receive their checks, they're actually going to be getting their payment one day earlier. And what that also means is that in the month of June, SSI beneficiaries are not going to be receiving anything. So the second payment in May is not going to be like an extra bonus payment or anything like that. It's just going to be their June payment coming a little bit earlier. But that's all we have for today's video. I certainly hope you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate it if you could give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.